Hey, beauty superstars. This is Miki Wright, Salon Business Coach with beautysuperstars.com. And I have a question for you. We're going back to work, reopening our salons after COVID-19. Should you raise your prices? Well, there's a few things. One, we are going to have to spend some more money to get ready to go back as far as, face coverings and masks and additional cleaning supplies. There's a lot of things to consider, gloves, all of those things. The next thing is that we can only do one person at a time. And so for some of us who've been double booking, it's like that may cause a challenge. And right now, respect is at an all-time high for salon persons. It's like all of us hairstylists, barbers, people who do lashes and brows and skincare, all of those things. People are like, can you please take me? So we're at an all-time respect level, high respect level. And I would say quite possibly it is a good time to raise your prices. But I think there's a lot of things to consider before you do that. So one is that we're in the middle of the biggest unemployment since the Great Depression. And so it really depends on your clients and, who they are and what type of work they do and if they've been working through this or if they haven't been working through this. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. And there's a limited amount of time for clients. As I mentioned before, it's like we can only take one client at a time, which I've done, recently, probably most of my career, but it's a little bit more like turn and burn, like next, or working with an assistant where you're just like, bring them right over. And, you do your wiping down and all, but right now we've got to sanitize pretty much the entire salon before we can seat our next guest. So that will slow us down. One thing to consider is, were you already discounting and underpriced before all of this, to the point where it was to your detriment, to your business detriment? And if so, you may have to weigh that out as well. And really, the next point is just looking at this as a business. It's like with any business, we have to take into consideration what our costs look like. And we also have to take into consideration what our customers' base is like and what their, level of ability to pay and level of wanting to, engage our services and pay for that. So, and I guess last but not least, it's like by going back into the salon, we're actually kind of putting ourselves in a vulnerable position because there's so many unknowns with coronavirus. And the one thing that they do know is how it spreads. And, that's by person to person contact. And so there's absolutely no way that we can keep a 6 feet distance between us and our clients. So in some ways we are, putting ourselves in a vulnerable position, and some people feel like we should get hazard pay for that. So that's another thing to consider as well. So what I want to say as far as should you raise your prices is that there is no one size fit all. And you have to really look at some of these things that I, suggest that you consider before making that decision. I want to share with you, it's like I coach salon owners as well as hairstylists. And one in particular, it's like they decided that they weren't going to raise their prices. They actually added on a $1 surcharge for each guest, not per service, but per guest. They increased their time that they were spending with each client by 30 minutes so they could have time for the cleanup and transition in between. And what they did was take this opportunity to really up their game as far as how they were interacting with their clients, listening to their clients, and being able to make suggestions for additional services as well as retail. And they actually have not dropped their income at all. And in fact, it's going up in some ways as well. And so I think that's pretty phenomenal. And I think that is something that we have to look at. It's like, how can we prosper and make this work in our new, time frame? It's like they're obviously doing fewer clients. One of the stylists was doing like up to 10, 15 clients a day, and obviously is no longer able to do that and was very scared about it, to be honest, and has found that this transition has been wonderful all the way around. The money hasn't dropped. The level of service has increased, and they are all feeling much more relaxed while they're working and going home without being completely wiped out. So what I've decided to do is put together a class on, ways that we can be able to keep our income the same or increase it is actually my goal, without necessarily having to raise prices or double book. So if you're interested in more of that information about the class, you can feel free to just look right below. It's like I've placed the link for the class that I'll be doing. So it'll be next week, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to drop them below and comment, and I will look forward to seeing you soon. Looks like I have an audience. Thank you.